Hello guys, this one's going to be a weird video because it seems that I'm getting a bit more vloggy, you know, a bit more, well, I don't know what you call it, but yeah, I seem to be doing more and more of these where I'm just talking about stuff to you guys, not necessarily anything in particular, but basically this is a video for, because in the 50 subs celebration video that I was doing, just saying thank you, and thanks again for that, it's gone up to 56 now, so that's shot up a lot. You guys are impressing me, you really are, and surprising me as well. But anyway, so in that video I said, obviously, you know, suggest types of video you want to see me do, and I believe your name is Ramon, or Ramon, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, so sorry if I've got it wrong, but you know who I'm talking to, you know who you are. But yeah, you've asked me to do a video on Journey's intro, or Steve Perry, you know, Steve Perry and Journey, their introduction to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I asked, and you've asked for that, so fair enough, I'll do one, you know, whether it's any good or not, I don't know, but just my thoughts on it. I've watched the video, and I gotta say, right off the bat, you know, just fair play to Steve Perry. He, you know, it's a hard thing with these older rock bands, because they keep going and going, but they have this legacy behind them. And that's what everyone's thinking of when they, you know, think of Journey. You think of Steve Perry and, you know, all that sort of stuff. You think of that era, for the most part. So having another singer is always hard, and fair play to Steve Perry for giving props to Arnel for doing the job, because he's been Journey's lead singer for 10 years now, and he's done a fantastic job, he really has. But the problem is, we're always going to view him as just a tribute band singer, basically, which, to a fair point, he is, you know, because for my feelings on it, they're not creating much new, they're not really doing anything like that, mostly it's just touring. It seems a bit like a cash grab, but you know, it's a wonderful thing to have them playing these songs and doing them well with a singer that can do that stuff. So yeah, fair play to Arnel, he's doing an awesome job with that, I think. But yeah, it limits Journey, and if they were to have Steve Perry come back, which I don't think a reunion's on the table, although Neil, you know, the guitar player, has said he was very on board with that as an idea, which is cool to hear. And when he was saying as well, just, yeah, you know, Steve Perry's voice might be a bit lower and everything, and I've heard a few clips of Steve Perry from a couple of years back, and yeah, the keys were down a bit, but still had the magic voice, you know, fuck the key. Who cares how high it is for the most part? The guy is, you know, 60 odd years old. It's not going to be exactly the same, although some singers are, you know, Steve Tyler, he's still nailing all the high parts to his songs, fair play, but he's been touring for years, and he knows what he's doing. Steve Perry hasn't sung with Journey for, what is it, 20 odd years? A bit more than that? Something like that. It's been a long time anyway. So, and on that note, I can understand why he wouldn't play on stage with Journey at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame introduction, you know, because that's a lot to live up to. And yeah, I don't think there'll be a reunion, because Steve Perry seems very settled in and of himself. He seems very calm and, you know, content with where he's at in life. And it wouldn't be, you know, he's got a great legacy. Every time Journey goes out, and they'll get whichever singer they can to sing the parts, and it's a tough gig to fill, you know, but they get singers that do it, and everyone goes, oh, that was great. Wasn't Steve great? Wasn't he awesome? He gets the credit every time. So, you know, for Steve Perry, that must be awesome. But for Journey as a band, it's a struggle to keep going, I imagine, because it just, you know, you see it as a tribute band type thing, basically. But yeah, anyway, so I would love to see a Steve Perry reunion, but I don't think it's going to happen. And a large part of it, even if it did, I don't think it would live up to what we're thinking it would sound like, you know, or what it would be like. Just once the initial joy is over, I don't think it would go too well. It was like that with Van Halen when they got Roth back, and, you know, I loved Sammy Hagar's era with them. Not too sure about Gary Sharon's, though the live shows seemed pretty good from what I could see on YouTube. But yeah, with Hagar, it was a very different thing, and I loved it, but it was a completely different band than when, you know, when they were with Roth. And getting Roth back after the initial excitement's wore off, it's just, yeah, it's not as good. It's not gonna be. So I think Journey would probably be better off leaving that where it is and keep doing what they're doing, you know. They keep selling the tickets, they keep selling the shows, and, you know, making lots of money, and people get to hear the great songs, you know, which is cool. I do wish that they would do, you know, like I say, get back to a creative type process as a band, as opposed to just basically being a nostalgia act type thing, but I don't see it happening. Cause like when they worked with Jeff Scott Soto, who is one of my favourite singers, he is a legend, he is the only singer I know who has got back range that he'd lost, you know, and he got it back for that Journey gig. He worked his ass off to get the upper register back, and he did, and he was nailing notes Steve Perry struggled with live. But with Jeff Scott Soto, it was such a different thing from having Steve Perry, because he's his own singer. Steve Perry's an idol of his, but he's his own singer, he's his own person, you know. It wasn't going to be the same, and I think that was the big issue. And I was really, you know, disappointed to see that they just dropped him after the tour was done. And Jeff Scott Soto stepped in on a day's notice to fill in for the gig, because the singer at the time, his voice was crapping out, he was struggling, because that's demanding stuff. And Jeff Scott Soto come in, he nailed it. Once the tour was done, that was it. They just dropped him and moved on. So, yeah. I don't like that, but there you go. It's business, unfortunately. It's the music industry, that's what happens. But yeah, and the truth is, there's only one singer for Journey, and it's Steve Perry. Everyone else we'll always look at as just a fill-in singer, no matter how good they do. And Arnel is doing as good a job as you could hope to do. And I was a bit peeved. I agree with the keyboard player, for whatever it's worth, from one random guy on the net. I agree with the keyboard player in that it was a bit of a dick move to snub him, because he's been Journey's singer for 10 years, and at this point, without Arnel, Journey would struggle. They'd be very different, Doubtless they'd get another singer, but Arnel's the guy, He's the guy that covers that stuff and does it really, really well. So yeah, anyway, to summarise my thoughts on it, it was good to see that they're all getting on a bit better. They seem to be pretty at peace with each other, but the ball is in Steve's court and he seems too content to do anything, and frankly, it would be risky for him to do it, to come back to Journey. So I don't see a reunion happening, but yeah, it was nice to see them together like that on a stage, even if they weren't playing. I hope Journey keep doing what they're doing. I hope it keeps working well for them. And yeah, that's about it. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. That was just my thoughts on it. I hope it come out coherent. And yeah, cheers. Suggest more videos. Thanks. Bye.